Alright guys, welcome back to another episode of the ECW 2006, November 14th.
21st.
21st. We're just 2 weeks away from the Extreme Elimination Chamber. There's only one match announced at December to Dismember, and we're going to get more matches announced here tonight. Let's find out. So, we kick off the show with
Matt Striker.
Matt Striker in the ring. He's giving us a wee classroom lesson, and he is getting ready to take on ECW's new superstar, Bobby Lashley. And Bobby Lashley comes out, tears apart Matt Striker's classroom, destroys his table, his chalkboard, then pretty much destroys Matt Striker in a squash match. So, I mean, it is what it is, trying to make my Lashley look pretty good here. Although that spear he hit on Striker didn't do him any favours, let's be real. Shite spear. When you're doing a spear, and you've had people like Goldberg and Rhino do it, I mean, you kind of need to, if you want to come across as impressive, you need to kind of at least do it half as good as they do. But when he does a spear that's worse than probably the worst person to do the spear, then you're in trouble. Yep. And that's exactly what he done there. But anyway, Lashley wins. And yeah, he defeats Matt Striker, so it looks like Matt Striker's went for a guy that was unbeaten to a guy that's fucking jobbing it.
This was a pretty decent quick fire match.
Was I? Up next we had... Oh yeah! Hardys have returned. First time teaming up in over 4 years. They're here on ECW. They're taking on the FBI, full bloodied Italians, Nuzio and Tony Mamaluke.
First time we've seen these two in half a year.
Feels like it. I mean, we've seen Tony Mamaluke against Sabu on like the second or third ECW. We've seen Little Guido a month after that against Kevin Thorne. Then we've seen Little Guido against Daivari, but yeah, it's been about 3-4 months since we've seen Tony Mamaluke at least.
Yep. Oh, you're ready.
Like, I feel like they've been in a tag team match since ECW started. Or have they not?
No.
Maybe they haven't. Ah, well, there you go, they haven't. But they were in a tag team match here.
They might have been the second week after the Battle Royal. I don't know.
Yeah, decent match, you know, that's what it is. It was alright.
Hardys were trying out some new manoeuvres as well.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised they actually brought the return of the Hardy Boys on ECW.
Yeah, you think you could have done a Raw special with this, but nah, ECW... Neckbreaker, powerbomb off the top rope, twist of fate, swanton, Hardys win. They also showed a wee bit of highlights with Jeff's IC ladder match against Johnny Naito from Raw. Up next with RVD backstage with Paul Heyman. Heyman says that he's going to give Hardcore Holly a title shot. Not a title shot, he's going to give Hardcore Holly an Extreme Rules match against RVD tonight.
And if he wins, he'll take RVD's spot in the Elimination Chamber.
And it was approximately at this moment everybody shot themselves. You really don't want Hardcore Holly in this match.
Especially, but guess what, brother? You're going to get him in this match.
Especially in place of fucking RVD. But yeah, so then that's announced. Up next, we had CM Punk taking on Kevin Thorne. Now, Kevin Thorne a month ago was undefeated.
And now
something must have happened backstage. I just don't see why the guy would go from undefeated to losing 3 matches in a row.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense to me. You know, he lost to Dreamer, then he lost to Punk, and now he's lost to Punk again. Obviously, we don't really know what's happening backstage. We're not there.
Maybe Finn spat the dummy.
And I'm not really interested in going no DQ and looking at 15 years ago. I don't really want to scroll back that far, to be fair. But I'm assuming that something's happened because the guys went from being undefeated to, like I said, losing 3 matches in a row. This was a decent match. It's a very cool counter from CM Punk into the Anaconda fight. He's never seen this before. He didn't see it either. But he was too busy fucking being a fat bastard eating his kebab. But anyway, regardless, you know,
you're ready.
Doesn't really matter. Punk wins. Kelly came out to give him a wee bit of support during the match, and then after the match, Kelly's brought aerial. CM Punk's getting rid of Kevin Thorne. Mike Knox comes out at the Titantron, and he doesn't appear to be very happy. I'm not very happy because like Punk and Knox is kind of leading to. You'd think it's leading to a pay-per-view match.
And all it is they're a part of this Survivor Series match.
And well, Mike Knox is a part of that match.
Has that not already happened by this stage?
5 seconds. This is either the first ECW since then, or
The one to
yeah, one or the other.
But they didn't really talk about. They haven't really talked about Survivor Series.
Yeah.
I did a couple of weeks ago for Mike Punk and Knox, and the Hardys were on this, which makes me think it must be
After or before? Could be
before.
before.
Because it was the return of the Hardys. I don't think they would have put them in the same team if it was fucking.
Yeah, we could argue if they're in a team that's not really the Hardy Boys, it's 5 people. But anyway, it's Team DX. Anyway, regardless, Punk wins.
That's a good team. Like,
Then we move on to this, and then we move on to the. That's probably why they won 5-0. Then we move on to Big Show promo with Paul Heyman.
awful.
I was waiting on Big Show getting to the I'm a angry giant, 7 foot tall, 500 pounds, but he never got that far. He was basically saying how the odds are against him, but he likes it. And then before he could say anything else, Bobby Lashley comes out. A bit of a standoff. Heyman wants Big Show to leave. Big Show looks like he's leaving. Then he decks Bobby Lashley, goes to hit him with the title. Bobby Lashley ducks, hits Big Show with the title. Big Show retreats. And then we got our main event, Hardcore Holly versus RVD Extreme Rules match. Extreme Rules matches should be pretty good, but this one it really wasn't. Basically,
was the first match these two not had that Extreme Rules match? How many matches have these two had?
It feels like a lot.
I mean, it feels about 6.
Yeah.
And I don't.
In the space of like 8 weeks.
I know. And the other weeks have been in a tag team with each other. Or against each other in a tag team.
Yeah, they had those 2 weeks where they were teaming up with each other, yeah. 2 weeks in a row.
A couple of decent spots, but
it was alright. Like, but I mean, the Extreme Rules match, they used the chair. I mean, this could have just been a chair match or a no DQ match. I mean, I don't know, Extreme Rules match, and I expect weapons, and all
that's
we got
hard. I think I'll be Hardcore Holly. Oh, let's just keep it boring as fuck.
Well, I mean, RVD's had 2 Extreme Rules matches with Hardcore Holly in the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
And none of them shed a light on the one with Test.
Yeah, even if you combine both Hardcore Holly and RVD matches, like even if you did though, they wouldn't even be half as good as the Test one. So I don't get that. I don't get that at all. And it must be Hardcore Holly. Like, I'm not saying Test is fucking Chris Benoit, like, but it must just be Hardcore Holly because it's not. I highly doubt RVD just looks at Hardcore Holly and goes, "I'm bored, mate. I'm not even gonna try." Well, maybe he does do that. Fuck, who knows? But regardless,
that's till Rob Van Dam, the boring bastard's looking.
Regardless, RVD wins. Frog splash onto the chair. Whoop de doo. RVD
stays in the chamber.
Stays in the chamber. Hardcore Holly, thankfully, doesn't advance to the chamber. At least not this week, anyway. Will he advance next week? It's his last opportunity. What's going to happen? It's probably going to be Hardcore Holly versus fucking Sabu, Punk. I don't know.
I actually think it would have been better if Sabu got screwed at the match in one of these kind of matches than getting battered backstage and we can't compete.
Yeah, because then by the time you get the pay-per-view, you're kind of excited to see Sabu, and then you realise, fuck, we ain't getting Sabu. I mean, who knows? Maybe next week, if you were booking this, you could have. Maybe then it doesn't really work, does it? Because you've got 4 faces and 3 heels. Now, if you'd already taken Sabu at this week, next week you could have had a cool 6-man tag match.
I don't know what way they could have did it, but could they not have did like with the I don't know what weapon you could have hid Sabu in, but could you imagine? Like say the chamber was stacked with weapons and instead of just 4 weapons in a pod. I don't know what weapon you could have hid Sabu in, but could you imagine he just popped out of something? Like fuckers swinging. I don't know what weapon you could hit him in, like a table with black cloth over it and he was underneath it. I don't know.
And Sabu, imagine him waiting 20 minutes to shoot a spot.
Well, give him a fucking
adrenaline push or something. Like, I don't know. If you'd have took Sabu out the chamber this week, next week you could have a 6-man tag between Lashley, RVD, and Punk against Heyman, against Big Show, Test, and Hardcore Holly. Maybe a 6-man Extreme Rules match.
Maybe. But anyway, guys,
we don't get that. So this week it was all right. I mean, it was.
I felt everything was going good until the final 2 bits.
It was all right. Like, it was cool to see the return of the Hardys. Striker segment was alright. Big Lashley comes out.
I mean, there wasn't a bad match, but the main event, it's just fucking hell, Holly.
Was it better than? Probably not better than the first one, because the first one has that table spot.
Exactly.
So I'm going to go ahead and give this show a 5, because I don't think it deserved any
I
more
put
than
it this
5.
way: if the Big Show Lashley thing was good and the main event was like Van Damme Test, this could have been like an 8 or something.
Where's Dreamer and Sandman?
Sabu.
Like, come on to fuck here.
Rhino. Anyway, though, what are you giving this?
5.
Oh, aye. I'll give it a 5. Till next time.
Bored at my tits. Peace. Thanks, Hardcore Holly, for nothing.